Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a happy 420 to you and yours. Today I'm going to break down the top 5 best comedies of the 1990s. Now this was a top 5 video requested to me by an old high school friend, Adam Matz, who I've done videos that he's requested of before. And my first thought was, 90s comedy? Good? Are there? And it turns out when I started doing this research for this list, I was pleasantly surprised. I kind of had it in my mind thinking that there was this black void of just no good comedies there in the '90s. Like I just had in my mind, like between Ruthless People and Wedding Crashers, they just didn't make comedies, did they? But no, they were playing. There are quite a few. So I'm gonna break down the top 5 now. A little bit, a handful of caveats for this one here for you. Because I didn't want this to get weighed down in films I've talked about in other top 5 videos before, I really wanted to kind of focus down on certain variables and certain details. For example, yes, these are my personal picks, a lot of my personal favorites, but not just all around favorite, encompassing favorite comedies. Like 2 honorable mentions I'll knock out right here: Ed Wood and Get Shorty. Well, these are easily some of my favorite films of the 1990s, hands down, and they're definitely comedies. Ed Wood is a prestige picture and a pseudo biopic. It's a biopic-ish, about as faithful as most of them. And then you got Get Shorty, which is also got a bit of a prestige factor because it's based on a Elmore Leonard novel. And, I don't know. And it's also a gangster movie. They're definitely comedies. They're absolute masterpieces, must-see films. But I just did not include them on this particular top 5 list. This top 5 list was based on my personal preferences, also with the iconicness of the film itself and its success. And like I said, because of no gangsters, no biopic stuff, I'm trying to stick to pure comedy here. So also no cartoons. So no Toy Story, no Beauty and the Beast, even though those movies were damn funny. So here we go with my number 5. Groundhog Day. And I know you're thinking Groundhog Day is a fantasy, but yeah. Groundhog Day is a fantasy, but Groundhog Day is pure comedy at the same time. I also want to have a quick vindication here on my behalf. Last year on Groundhog Day, I did my top 5 best Bill Murray movies video, and the Christmas before that, I did 2 top 5 Christmas movie videos. One of traditional Christmas films and of unconventional Christmas films. And in those 3 different videos, I not once mentioned Scrooged. Total massive oversight on my part. I don't know if it would straight up change the rankings on any of those videos, to be honest, but it definitely deserved an honorable mention. It's a classic. But with Groundhog Day, in 1993, directed by Harold Ramis, starring Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, and Chris Elliott, the whole setup is Bill Murray is a weatherman who gets stuck in stuck in a small town doing a fluff piece on a holiday, reliving the same day over and over and over again. People have said before that he had to have been. I mean, there are people break down mathematically. He had to have been there for years for this. To do all the stuff he did during the course of the film. It's one of Bill Murray's best performances. It's absolutely hysterical. And as I said, one of my favorite bits in the whole film is when he goes something along the line, when I was 19, I was in Guatemala, and I met a beautiful woman, and we spent the whole day laughing and drinking. And when the sun set, we made love on the beach. Why couldn't I live that day over and over and over again? Classic. Number 4, Canadian Bacon. 1995, written and directed by Michael Moore, and starring the late, great, legendary John Candy, Alan Alda, Kevin Pollak, Rip Torn, and Rhea Perlman. Canadian Bacon's a great movie. The whole setup for this film is basically a limp-wristed, ineffective, guaranteed to be a one-term president, played by Alan Alda, is so desperate for some approval, some attention, some actual press coverage of any kind. He's going to he's going to make a fictitious war, create one out of pure air with the Canadians. You know, the film Wag the Dog came out a few years later and tried to be a little bit more serious, just similar approach to it, but wasn't as good or as funny. Uh, and just like seriously, the movie like starts with the guy. He almost gets killed by an accidental discharge at a gun show, and no one gives a shit. The president almost got shot. Well, did he get shot? He was almost shot. Oh, okay. It's funny. It's great. But, you know, great performance from John Candy. One of the few performances from Alan Alda that I genuinely liked. I always thought he was really overrated, but I thought he was very good in this. I think he's very good in The Aviator. And as I said, can't say enough about John Candy. I literally did a whole video about the legacy of John Candy. Go on my channel, go check out that one from back in the summer. And I cannot stress enough, I mean no exaggeration, when I say that Rip Torn should have been nominated for a fucking Oscar for this film as the colonel who just cannot wait to go to war. This man has never been so excited and enthusiastic in his life. Dude, I can't bomb America's neighbors. I can. It's great performance for Rip Torn. I'm serious when I say he should have been nominated for the Oscar for this movie. I love him in this film. Great movie, see it if you ever get the chance. And of course, there's one of those iconic lines that only John Candy could have ever delivered. There's a time to think, and there's a time to act. And this, gentleman, there's no time to think. See, stupid when I do it, but when he did it, I guarantee you it was gold. Well, I also should say that Canadian Bacon probably would be slightly higher on this list if it wasn't just for the aftertaste of what became Michael Moore. I mean, just became the absolute, hands down, biggest sellout in the history of Hollywood, and that's all I'll have to say about him at the moment. For now, for this video at least. Number 3, Bowfinger. Oh yeah, baby. I talked about Bowfinger before. 1999, directed by Frank Oz, starring Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, Heather Graham, Jamie Kennedy, Robert Downey Jr., and Christine Baranski. Oh, and Terrence Stamp. The whole premise of this movie is Steve Martin is like a Roger Corman level filmmaker who's going to make an utter dog shit of a picture using a movie star who has no idea he's in the film. And this is a movie star who has, like, you know, mental health problems. He suffers from paranoia and all this shit. And it is, in my opinion, Eddie Murphy's greatest performance of his entire career. I mean, I would maybe even lean a little bit towards Shrek, in all honesty, his performance as Donkey. But, you know, just the fact that this isn't an animated performance and it's Eddie Murphy without any makeup or anything like that. It's just him and his pure fucking charisma and given a great role that only Eddie Murphy could have fucking pulled off. Man, let me play Buck the Wonder Slave. I'll get an Oscar. The letter K is perfectly divisible 3 times in this script. Perfectly divisible by 3. He is brilliant. He's legendary. I mean, he should be legendary. And I don't know if anybody else loves Bowfinger as much as I do, but he is amazing in that movie. I have to show my dick to the Laker girls. I have to do it. But yeah, man, and he is just one of just his manic performance is just the cherry on top of a comedy sundae of this movie, because it is bold, it's original. It's a true critique of Hollywood, but at the same time a celebration of what it can give you, kind of thing. Because these guys, spoiler here, they achieve their goal, they get their movie made, and it's not good. It's not really a hit, but they get another movie out of it, so it served its purpose, right? It's great. It's great. Oh man, number 2. Office Space. Oh man, Office Space. My top 2 are going to be iconic movies. Y'all, you've seen these, hands down, no question. If you're watching any video that's titled Comedies of the 90s. Office Space, directed by Mike Judge, 1999, starring Ron Livingston, John C. McGinley, David Herman, and Jennifer Aniston. Oh, and of course, the most meme-friendly performance in movie history by Gary Cole as the villainous boss Bill Lumberg. The whole premise of this movie is Ron Livingston is a man who hates his job so much. It is actually seeping into every aspect of his life and making him like universally miserable. After going to like he goes to like he gets like hypnotized, and while stuck in hypnosis, the hypnotist dies. And he's like stuck in this state of don't give a fuck. And the whole movie, I don't want to spoil it because for the love of God, see Office Space if you've never seen it. But oh man, it just his roommate, I mean his neighbor Dietrich Bader, great performance from Stephen Root as is it Melvin or Martin, the totally eccentric weirdo that's in the office. The montage, a movie with actual funny montages. Montages, I've never said this in my video, but it's kind of a pet peeve to me. I really don't like montages or narration. Never. It's just always kind of been a crutch, a cheat to me in a lot of ways. But yes, for the love of God, see Office if you've never seen see Office Space if you've never seen Office Space. I mean, the Bobs and this is a fuck. All right, I'll move on. And my number one, my number one personal favorite comedy of the 1990s is Friday. I know. 1995, directed by F. Gary Gray, starring Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Johnny Witherspoon, Nia Long, Paula J. Parker, Regina King, and Tiny Lister Zeus Jr. I mean, I've said before about quotability in movies. I mean, just certain movies that just you get stuck on it, and holy shit. Friday is a movie like you can bond with a person because you'll use a Friday quote and they recognize it. As long as it's not by Felicia. That one's got it's getting a little too saturated. But I mean, deboed. You've been deboed. It's a fucking verb. Now it's part of American literature, part of our dialect. It's an iconic movie, a star-making performance from Chris Tucker, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really talk to people like in their early 20s much right now. I usually would at work, but not right now because I'm locked up. But I don't really know how younger people who would have been just kids, or if not even born yet, when like say Rush Hour came out. I don't even really know how they would look at Chris Tucker, but oh man, what a amazing performance from Chris Tucker, and this is Smokey. The twitch he got going, man, that's classic physical comedy and great stuff. And what's the premise of Friday? Well, the premise of Friday is it's Friday, and I'm gonna get you high today, cause you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do, and well. Come on, then there's Witherspoon himself, man. I mean, I shit you not. I would put money on it. I would guess that they're at least I would doing some kind of comedy kind of thing, like a comedy monologue, would do the refrigerator monologue or the bathroom taking his shit monologue. And that's what it is. That's a monologue. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food, all the pig's feet, all the hog maws. I want to eat some of them pig meats. I fucked up the thing, but you know what I mean, man. I don't have the script here, but it's great, and you just got knocked the fuck out. That was my mom. My grandmama gave me that change. It is holy shit. There may not be a single joke in this film that isn't legendary. You know what I mean? I love this movie. It is a classic of its time. And it is, in my opinion, hands down, the best comedy of the 1990s. Honorable mentions, I'd say American Pie, just because, you know, of my teenage years, it was the raunchy teenage comedy of that era, and plus has legitimately great performances, truly scene-stealing performances from Allison Hannigan, Sean William Scott, and Eugene Levy. Wayne's World, just because, I mean, Wayne's World's always been part of my personal zeitgeist. He's always quoted. I saw it not recently again, and I've also done a retro review for it. The Ref is this unappreciated little fucking comedy starring Dennis Leary and Judy Davis and a third guy. I'm not gonna whose name I just won't fuck him. I'm gonna talk about, but it's a good comedy, good Christmas gangster comedy. And there's also a movie called And God Spoke, the making of And God Spoke, which is just about like the two worst directors in the history of the world trying to make a film about the whole Bible, page by page, in a one-shot 2-hour movie. It can be done, sure. But that's my list. I hope y'all like this movie. Hope y'all are enjoying your holiday. And get your ass up. It ain't even wet over there.